You probably think your dog puts their paw on you because they want attention. But that's not always the real reason. Because sometimes, that tiny little paw is actually one of the deepest forms of communication your dog has. And most owners completely miss what their dog is truly trying to say. Think about it. Your dog can't use words. They can't explain emotions. They can't tell you when they feel anxious, connected, protective, confused, or even emotionally distant. So instead, they use behavior. And one behavior in particular has psychologists, trainers, and dog behavior experts fascinated. The paw, especially when they place it directly on you. Your arm, your leg, your chest, sometimes even your face. It looks simple, but hidden inside that tiny action is an emotional message most people never understand. And what it means when they suddenly stop doing it might surprise you even more. Because dogs don't randomly touch. In the animal world, physical contact means something. A lot. Especially for pack animals. And your dog sees you as part of their emotional world. That changes everything. See, humans usually think dogs communicate mainly through barking. But dogs actually communicate far more through body language and touch. The paw is one of the clearest examples. When your dog gently places their paw on you, they are often trying to create emotional connection. Not just physical contact. Connection. It's similar to how humans touch someone's shoulder, hold a hand, or lean against someone they trust. Your dog is reaching out emotionally. And here's the part most people don't realize. Dogs learn very quickly which behaviors create closeness with you. If placing their paw on you leads to eye contact, soft words, petting, comfort, or emotional attention, that behavior becomes deeply meaningful to them. In their mind, the paw becomes, "This works. This brings my human closer. This makes me feel safe." But that's only the beginning. Because depending on the situation, that paw can mean completely different things. And one specific version of this behavior can actually signal emotional stress. Most owners never notice it. For example, have you ever been sitting quietly, and suddenly your dog slowly places their paw on your arm while staring directly at you? Not excited, not hyper, just calm and intense. That moment is powerful, because many behavior experts believe dogs do this when they're emotionally checking in with you. Especially when you seem stressed. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human emotion. They study your tone, your movement, your breathing, your energy. In fact, research has shown dogs can recognize emotional changes in human faces and voices. Meaning sometimes, your dog notices your sadness before other humans do. And that paw, it can actually be their version of saying, "I'm here." That's why so many people notice their dog becoming extra affectionate during hard times. Breakups, stress, anxiety, depression, loneliness. The dog suddenly stays closer, touches more, follows more, because your emotional state affects theirs. But here's where it gets even deeper. Sometimes the paw isn't about comfort. Sometimes, it's about insecurity. And the difference is subtle. If your dog constantly paws at you in unfamiliar places, around strangers, or during stressful situations, they may actually be seeking reassurance. In psychology, this is called social anchoring. Your dog uses you as an emotional safety point. Just your presence helps regulate their nervous system. That means when they touch you, they're grounding themselves emotionally. Almost like saying, "Don't leave me alone with this." And honestly, once you realize this, you start seeing your dog completely differently. Because behaviors that once seemed random suddenly feel emotional, intentional, personal. But there's another reason dogs use their paws. And this one surprises almost everyone. Control. Not dominance in the dramatic way people online talk about, but emotional influence. Dogs are extremely intelligent when it comes to reading human reactions. They know what works. And if placing a paw on you gets immediate attention, they remember. Especially smart breeds. Over time, some dogs learn. Paw equals response. Food, affection, play, eye contact, conversation. You unknowingly train the behavior. And your dog becomes emotionally attached to using it. Which explains why some dogs become very persistent with pawing. But what's fascinating is how they do it. Gentle pawing usually signals emotional connection or communication. Aggressive repetitive pawing can signal anxiety, overstimulation, or demand behavior. The energy matters. The timing matters. Your dog's eyes matter. Everything about canine communication is layered. And most owners only see the surface. Now here's something almost nobody talks about. What it means when your dog suddenly stops putting their paw on you. This matters more than people think. Because behavioral changes in dogs are emotional clues. If your dog used to constantly seek touch, then suddenly becomes emotionally withdrawn, you should pay attention. Sometimes it's stress, sometimes aging, sometimes discomfort, sometimes emotional change in the environment. Dogs are creatures of emotional patterns. And when those patterns suddenly shift, there's usually a reason. That doesn't always mean something bad, but it does mean your dog is communicating something. Which brings us to one of the biggest misconceptions dog owners have. People think love from dogs looks exactly like love from humans. It doesn't. Dogs express trust differently. Through proximity, through observation, through touch, through routine. And that tiny paw might actually be one of the purest signs your dog feels emotionally safe with you. Because vulnerable touch requires trust. Your dog is exposing themselves emotionally every time they reach out. That's why some rescue dogs take months before they ever do it. And when they finally place their paw on someone, it's huge. It means the emotional wall is breaking. Trust is forming. Safety is forming. A bond is forming. And honestly, that's beautiful. But there's one final thing your dog may be trying to say with that paw. Notice me. Not because they're spoiled. Not because they're needy. But because dogs crave emotional presence. Sometimes your dog isn't asking for food, or toys, or walks. Sometimes they simply want connection. Undivided attention. A moment where you fully see them. And in a world where humans are constantly distracted. Phones, screens, stress, noise. Your dog waits patiently for emotional closeness. That paw can be their quiet little attempt to reconnect with you. And once you understand that, you stop seeing it as just a habit. You start seeing communication. Real communication. If this is changing how you see your dog, hit like and subscribe, because understanding your dog emotionally can completely transform your relationship with them. And trust me, there are behaviors your dog does every single day that carry hidden emotional meanings most owners never notice. At the end of the day, your dog isn't trying to manipulate you. They're trying to reach you. In the only language they have. Through touch, through presence, through silent emotional signals. And maybe that's why this behavior feels so powerful to people. Because deep down, when your dog places their paw on you, it feels like they're saying something words never could. I trust you. I need you. I'm connected to you. I'm here. Your dog isn't just behaving. They're communicating.